Okay, for my apple pie, which I will be making today for a Thanksgiving-related show, we are going to need apples. Now, they can keep them in the fridge for up to a week. Thank you. What am I thinking? I want pie now.
Okay.
Now, I've been reading on the internet methods on how to peel apples. One method says, yeah, take a knife, crisscross it so it's loose. You know what? I'd rather remove my own appendix blindfolded. Here's what I would do. Take your peeler and just run over the skin once. Because if you run over it any longer, you're just going to make a big mess and lose a lot of apple. Now peel 3 pounds of apples. My personal favorites are 2 Golden Delicious apples, 2 Granny Smith apples, and 2 Red Delicious apples. Just for the flavor. You can use whatever you like, just don't use any like extremely soft apple or you're gonna so deeply regret it. Okay, the apples have been peeled. Now we need to get that nasty core out. The famous method is to cut the apple in half and scoop it out with a melon baller. Tell ya, I'd rather take Hershey's paws off. Here's what I would do. Take your apple cutter. Okay, and once the apple has been cut, take it and cut that piece in half. Then just continue for all the apples. Okay, we have peeled and cored all the apples, but now we need to get some liquid out of the pie, but we don't necessarily want it in the pie. No, wait, but we don't want it in the apples. We add a 1/4 cup of sugar, and leave the apples over a colander to drain for 1.5 to 2 hours, so we can have the apples collapse. Now I know...
Are you actually making this pie for Thanksgiving?
Yes. Now I know apple collapse sounds a little catastrophic, but let's just say for a minute that this entire room represents the inside of the pie crust. And the wall, and all the other stuff in the room represents the apples when they go into the pie. Now when heat is applied, the crust sets really fast. But if the apples are kind of, if they haven't collapsed yet, they're going to leave us with this big empty dome. So basically what happens is, everything falls. Now, if anyone out there has a phone, I would appreciate it if you dialed 911. Someone get me out of here. Okay, the apples have been draining for 1.5 hours, and there's some liquid that came out. Now, we don't want liquid in the apples, but it's not to say we don't want them in the pie. So, put it on a heat in a saucepan, and let it reduce down to about 2 tablespoons. Over medium heat. And while that's happening, we're going to start constructing the flavoring. Let me just say straight up that cinnamon, cumin, and nutmeg are fine spices. They have absolutely nothing to do with apples. So if you want your apple pie to taste like pumpkin pie, go ahead. It's your food. Me, I'm keeping it clean with another 1/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of either tapioca flour or cornstarch, which I have right here, 2 tablespoons of apple jelly, and 2 tablespoons of apple jelly, and some nice kosher salt. Now, either grains of paradise or caraway seeds, which can be found at any You're going to be more likely to use caraway because grains of paradise is not easy to find at a grocery store. Not in the refrigerator. Okay. Where the pie filling continues with a tablespoon of apple cider. And that's it. You're hot. Okay. Get the lime juice in, then add either 3 tablespoons of tapioca flour or cornstarch, just whatever you happen to have lying around the kitchen. This will help thicken the crust later on. 3 tablespoons. Now 2 tablespoons of apple jelly for the peck. Just because we need some kind of pectin-y flavor, I guess. Now if you, for some reason, can't tablespoon of apple cider. Hang on. A half cup of sugar.
This is riveting, Will.
We're almost done.
It's called editing.
Yeah, it's called Mom's in Control of Editing. Me and she'll cut all of it out. And also, last but not least, a quarter teaspoon of caraway seeds. Now just toss this. You can stop.
Are you ready to consume?
Okay, we're rolling. Okay, are we on? Okay, my next step is to roll out the crust. Now, to make the crust, combined 12 ounces of sugar, a tablespoon of, 12 ounces of flour, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt in your food processor. Blend it up, add 6 ounces of butter, processed till mealy, add 2 ounces of vegetable shortening and just process till pulse 4 or 5 times. Then add 2 tablespoons of apple cider. Then refrigerate overnight. Okay, once you've rolled out your dough into about a 12-inch disc, add it to a 2-piece tart pan. Why? You'll just have to be patient. Now, form it to the edges. Form it around the edges. This will, partly it's here to ensure a crispy crust because the ridges conduct heat really quickly. And also because it's 2-piece, easy removal. You don't have to get the chainsaw out to remove the first piece of pie. Okay, once you've got all the apples in, there's going to be some liquid left from the bottom of the pan, so just dump that on. Now the last thing you need to do is roll out the piece of dough. Now make sure your docks is so we don't have a steam incident.
What does that mean?
What?
What do you mean?
So, what I mean is, if we don't poke holes in the dough with a fork, it's going to expand in the oven and make a big mess. This is what you do if you don't have a pie bird, or, like me, have a problem making one out of aluminum foil. Again, about a 12-inch disc. And do it under wax paper, it's 100 times easier. You can stop for a minute. Okay, just get the dough off the wax paper. This might take a second, but... Okay. You can, if some of it happens to rip off, just use the excess to fill in the areas in a second, when you get it all off. If you get it all off.
Should I stop this?
Yes. Okay, the last part of a pie to bake it is to put it on the floor of your oven. If you have a coil, put it on the lowest rack of your oven. Then baking for 20 minutes. Then move up to the middle rack of your oven and cook for another half hour. Then take the pie out of the oven and let it cool for 4 hours. It's going to take that long for all the pectin to reset.
And before...
Okay, see you all next time.
Yes, it's over. How'd you like
Trust
it?
me.
I don't know. I slept through the whole thing. Well, you didn't miss much.